Welcome back, guys. This is the second part for my Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament preview review. I'll be going over the next 4 characters that were revealed, starting today with Hiei, Dragon Within. He is Hiei, Dragon Within because we already have a Hiei printed in the Retro series, so rather than giving him the 2-dot, they're giving him the title, I suppose, of Dragon Within. He is a 6 hand size, 29 health character with Evil, Fire, and Void, and he is part of Team Urameshi, which is important because they do have team abilities in this set. He has Enhance, Tenacious, so playable while committed, Lose 1 health, this attack gets +1 or -2 speed. That's pretty solid. To just lose 1 health for -2 speed on all of your opponent's attacks, that's pretty good. I really like that. But what really gets me is the response. Response, Commit. After your rival plays a block, seal it and discard it. Return this attack to its printed speed and damage. They may try to block this attack a second time. So you are forcing your opponent to deal with the same attack twice. Of course, you are returning your things to their printed speed and damage. But if they've already... because this is after they've played a block, not after they attempt to play a block. So if I'm not mistaken, they have to pass the check to block first. So if they had to commit foundations, they still had to commit those foundations. And then you seal their block, so no breaker, or no after you block with discard abilities. Discard the block, return this to its printed speed and damage, and then force your opponent to block it again. That's just dirty. I really like that, especially if you're speeding it up to force them to commit a whole bunch of things to block it the first time. Then you discard their block and say, okay, I'll reduce the speed and damage, try again, and see if they have to. I'm not entirely sure on that. I haven't heard anything from the higher-ups at UVS Games on if that's how this works, but just from the previews and from what I understand of the wording, that's how it seems to me, and that is insane. So let's move on to his attack, shall we? We have Bamboo Training Slash, a 3 difficulty, 3 control, 2 mid for 2 with a +2 mid block. It's got Fury and Weapon. It says Enhance, discard 1 momentum. This attack is +2 speed and +2 damage. Pretty simple. It becomes a 4 mid 4 on a 3 difficulty for the cost of 1 momentum. Not bad. Yeah, it's a decent little common. Not really much to say about that one, so let's move on. Next we have Double Fists of the Mortal Flame. A 4 difficulty, 3 control, 3 high for 4 with a +3 high block. This has Charge, Echo, and Punch. One side note, I've seen that we're seeing a lot of Echo in this set. And considering that's one of my favorite abilities, I'm really glad that we're seeing more of it. But it just seems like almost every character has an Echo attack almost. But it's really cool. I'm not going to argue with it. I love Echo. This attack also has First Enhance, lose 2 health. Add the top card of your deck to your momentum. This attack loses Echo. So you can lose Echo in order to gain momentum. Pretty good if you have to play this as your opening attack and maybe you've got another Echo card, like maybe another copy of this in your hand. So you could turn 1 attack into 3. That's pretty solid. Pretty good, and it's only an uncommon, so seeing Echo on an uncommon I think is really, really cool. We did have the Echo in Jetburn that was a common for Gran Torino, and I think this is a really cool addition to the cheaper basic Echo cards. Then we have his Ultra, the Dragon of the Darkness Flame. This is hype. A 5 difficulty, 2 control, 6 mid for 7 with a +1 mid block. It's got Charge, Powerful 3, Ranged, and Stun 1. That's a lot of keywords. It says, as a static, after you play this attack, lose 2 health. This cannot reduce you below 2 health, so you cannot kill yourself playing this. And then Enhance, if you have 10 or less health, you may discard up to 3 cards from your hand as though they were momentum to pay for this attack's powerful cost. Yeesh. So you stun your opponent, you lose a health to give it a speed, make it a 7 mid 7. If for some reason you're at 10 or less health, you can pitch cards from your hand to boost its powerful. Force them to deal with this card twice. Gah, that is not going to be nice, and I'm glad we don't have a lot of ways to ready your character, because having to use multiple blocks to block one attack in Hiei is already going to be a little gross. Next up we have the rare attack, Sword of the Darkness Flame. A 4 difficulty, 3 control, 4 mid for 4 with a +1 low block. It's got charge and weapon. It says enhance, lose 1 health. This attack gets +1 damage and stun 1. So 4 mid 5 stun 1 at the cost of 1 health. That's pretty good. And then if you lose 1 health with your character, it's a 5 mid 5 with stun 1 for the cost of 2 health. That's great. And then if you enhance, if you have 10 or less health, draw 1 card and gain 2 health. That's pretty good. If you're at that really low threshold, you can get a little bit higher and draw an extra card. Really solid attack, especially as a late game piece. On to foundations, we have I Am the Dragon. It is a 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 mid block. It says response, commit, lose 1 health. After your attack is not blocked, it gets +2 damage. So your opponent tries to block your attack, they commit a bunch of foundations, and you say, cool, discard the attack, discard the block, try again. If they don't try again, your attack gets more damage just for hitting. That's dirty. That's going to mess with some people. As much as Hiei's already going to mess with people's math, this is really going to mess with people's math. Then we have his rare foundation, Mastering the Dragon. A 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 low block. Love the art here. This is just peak Hiei. Enhance, remove. If you have lost 4 or more health this turn, draw 2 cards. That's pretty good. Hiei obviously is trying to pay a lot of health to get down to that 10 health threshold, but also, I believe this also counts if you've taken damage. So during your opponent's turn, if they hit you for 4, you can remove this to draw 2 extra cards on defense. So, really good piece. I really like that, both offensively and defensively. Then we have Paying the Cost, a 1 difficulty, 4 control with a +3 mid block. This is his uncommon foundation. It says enhance, lose 1 health. This attack gets 1 damage. Not much to say there, other than it seems they broke Brute Strength into 2 foundations in this set, because you got your lose 1 health for a damage here, and then Elder to Grow has the Destroy foundation for a damage as well. And they both share the Evil symbol, so something to watch out for. Evil has Brute Strength as 2 different foundations this time, and a little bit crazy. Then we have Unmatched Quickness, a 1 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 high block. That says if you have enhance, if you have 10 or less health, this attack gets +1 or -1 speed. Pretty good. If you're at that 10 health or less, all of your attacks get faster, all of your opponent's attacks get slower for free, just for hovering at that 10 or less threshold. But that is it for Hiei. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm a little scared. I don't like having to deal with the same attack. If you're making me block your attack, obviously I'm kind of scared about that. I'm the type of player who, if I don't need to block the attack, I'm likely not going to. So if I feel I have to block the attack, I'm certainly not going to want to have to block it twice. So that's crazy. And just the ability to lose health for -2 speed on all of your opponent's attacks is a nuts defensive ability, especially when you're trying to get yourself down to that lower threshold in order to make sure all of your stuff gets access to all these other abilities here. Next up in the lineup, we have Jin, everybody's favorite, I believe he's Scottish? Irish? I probably sound racist as hell for not being able to tell them apart, but it's also been 15 years since I've seen the anime, and I just remember as a kid I was like, oh yeah, he's Irish or Scottish, he's one of the two, but he's awesome, and he's a fan favorite. Let's get into him. He is a 6 difficulty, 27 health, with Air, Life, and Void. Interesting team spread. He is Team Masho, and he's got 2 responses. The first is Tenacious. Mill 1. After an attack is played, it gets +2 or -2 speed. And if you milled an attack this way, it gets +3 or -3 speed instead. So if you thought Eraserhead was annoying, pitching Erase for +2 or -2 speed, imagine just having to mill a card, and you don't have to lose a card out of your hand. And you just might, oops, accidentally give it +3 or -3 speed instead. That's fun. And then Response Commit, that first ability was Tenacious if I didn't say. Then Response Commit, after your rival plays an Enhance ability on an attack, if that attack has less than its printed speed, cancel its effects. You can cancel Powerful, you can cancel EX, you can cancel Echo, you can cancel any Enhance ability played on an attack, as long as that attack speed is less than printed. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. There are a lot of powerful abilities on attacks that Jin's just going to laugh at. So, moving on to his attacks, we have his Ultra Rare up first, Double Tornado Fist. A 5 difficulty, 3 control, 4 high for 5 with a +1 low block. It says, this is static, this attack's speed cannot be reduced below its printed value. Okay, so he's a speed control character. You want to make sure that your attacks aren't getting reduced too much. Oh, it also has Echo and Punch. So again, it seems every character in this set is getting an Echo, which is solid, but now I'm scared. Enhance. If this attack speed is 6 or greater, it gets +2 damage. It's going to always be at least 6 or greater, because as long as you mill 1, it's going to get +2 speed. So it's always going to be a 6 high for 7. With Echo, it's 2 6 high for 7s. And then it also says Enhance, if the top card of your discard pile has Tornado in its name, draw 1 card. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say all of his attacks have Tornado in the name. So if you mill one of his attacks, it's a 7 high for 5, 7 high for 7 maybe, that can then draw you a card. Twice, thanks to Echo. So that's fun. That's fun. Moving on, we have Tornado Charge. This is his common, a 4 difficulty, 3 control, 4 mid for 4 with a +2 mid block. It's got Charge and Slam. I'm liking seeing some Void Slams for Selkie maybe. Says Enhance, your next attack this turn gets +3 damage. That's pretty simple, pretty solid. I do love how they're making the common attacks just very simple, like draft sealed play cards, so that at least you always have something. Not quite blank like Ryukyu's, but you always have something that's got a little bit to it, and I kind of like the design space of that for the common attacks. And sometimes the common foundations as well, you'll see, are pretty simple and basic, and I'm really liking that. Moving on, we have Tornado Fist, a 5 difficulty, 3 control, 4 high for 5 with a +2 high block. It's got Flash and Punch. I love me some Flash, another favored ability. It says, Response, after this attack deals damage, discard it from your card pool or add the top card of your deck to your momentum. So you can either clear it, or you can get momentum for, say, your Echo piece. And as a Flash, this is a 4 high for 5, minimum 6 high for 5 in Jin, maybe a 7 high for 5 if you milled an attack. Either way, pretty solid uncommon card. I thought that was a rare for a second, but no, that's his uncommon. That's pretty sweet. Which I guess means we're getting onto his rare attack, Wind Barrier. A 3 difficulty, 3 control, 3 mid for 3, that's a lot of 3s, with a +1 mid block. It's got Breaker 1, that's always cool. It has a static that says, while it is in your card pool, your rival's attacks get -2 speed. So if you block with this, and use Jin's effect, all of your opponent's attacks are going to get minimum of -4 speed. You're not going to be you're not going to be able to touch this man. Just like Yusuke, when he had to fight Jin and he was just sitting up in the sky. You're not going to touch Jin. And then it also has Enhance. If this attack speed is 5 or greater, it gets +2 damage. Guess what? It's always going to be 5 or greater. Unless you can... No, because unless you can respond, reduce the speed of it after they've given it +2 speed with Jin, it's always going to be 5 or greater. And so this is almost always a 5 mid 5 on a 3 diff. And that Breaker 1 and making sure that all of your opponent's attacks get -2 speed for the rest of the turn is just gross. man, that's not going to be fun to play against. Moving on, we have his foundations, starting with Lively Defense, a 2 difficulty, 5 control, plus 3 mid-block. It says Enhanced Commit, discard 1 card played as a block from your card pool. This attack gets -2 speed. Oh, you're not going to be able to touch this man. He's just going to block forever. Excuse me. I need something stronger after reading all these Jin cards. Maybe some Jin. Who knows? Yeah, pretty solid uncommon. I hate it. Next up, his rare foundation is Masho Concealment, a 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 mid-block. It's got ally unique, so you're only allowed 1 in your stage. Response commit, after your rival plays an enhance ability on a foundation, cancel it. Okay. Reminds me of an old school Red Horizon card called Damnation, but that was a 2/5 with no block. Yeah, pretty good. And then Team Masho Enhance. This attack gets -1 speed or +1 damage. All of your attacks are just going to be 0 speed against Jin. Just putting that out there. Your attacks have no speed against Jin, and all of his attacks are going to come in with an additional +1 damage. Yeah. Thank God this is unique. Moving on to his common attack, or foundation, Master of Wind. I don't know why that did that. There we go. A 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 high block. It says response, flip. After you play an attack, if it is the only attack in your card pool, it gets 3 damage. Because why not? I do love that this is a responsibility, so that you can use it with flash attacks. Yeah, this is nuts. This is just nuts. Man, crazy. And then, of course, another common foundation, Out of Reach, a 1 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 low block. It says form, destroy, discard 1 momentum, and discard 1 1 air card from your card pool. Yep, that's fine. So, if you have 2 momentum, you play your Echo attack, you play it again as an Echo, it flips. Well, then it doesn't have air anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. But, yeah, so you can clear air cards out of your card pool on your turn. Because that's fun. That's great. So, yeah, that is Jin. And like I said, I think I might need some after reading these cards, because this fun little guy is not so fun. This is, in my opinion, probably going to be one of the most annoying characters to play against. I'm sure he's going to feel great playing. Like, if you're the Jin player in that matchup, you are going to have a ball. Unless you're playing the matchup and then it's just who mills better. But yeah, honestly, I'm not looking forward to playing against his character. Although I am planning on playing a lot of Elder Toguro, who can switch speed and damage. So maybe Elder Toguro can mess with their rates and stuff. But either way, that is not going to be fun. Moving on to Karasu, another member of Team Toguro. He is a 7 hand size, 20 health character. He's got Death, Evil, and Fire, and again, he's on Team Toguro. He's got a static. After you deal damage with an attack, any player with 6 or more foundations destroys 1 foundation. That's a heck of a static. That says if any of your attacks deal damage, if anyone has 6 or more foundations, blow 1 up. You both do. And that's a static, so that's not something that you can respond to trigger, like you miss the response window. That just happens. Scary. And then Enhance. This attack gets +X damage. X equals the number of foundations destroyed this turn. So that counts both yours and your rivals. So as soon as you hit with 1 foundation, or 1 attack, say a throw, your next attack is going to get 2 damage. If that one hits, your next attack is going to get 4 damage. He does want to play a very low foundation count. He wants to stick right around that 6-7 range so that he can comfortably destroy a few foundations, but man, I can already tell this guy's going to be scary. Speaking of scary, we're going to start with his... Why did you do that? We're going to start with his common attack, Deadly Claw. A 4 difficulty, 3 high for 4, 3 control with a +2 high block. It is a punch. It says Enhance. If you have 5 or fewer foundations in your stage, this attack gets +2 speed and +2 damage. So if you're sitting at that 5 or less threshold, this 4 difficulty attack becomes a 5 high for 6, which is pretty good. Yeah, pretty good, pretty basic. Moving right along. We have Deleterious Bomb. Excuse me. A 5 difficulty, 5 control, or 3 control. 5 controls on an attack, what am I thinking? 5 difficulty, 3 control, 4 high for 5 with a +2 mid block. It has ranged and tech as its keywords. I love seeing more tech cards. Back in the old days, we didn't get a lot of tech, and then we got Mei Hatsume, so I thought we'd get a lot more tech. And it was kind of slow along. Hey, and Mei Hatsume can play this card. Cool. What does it do? Enhance, destroy 1 foundation. Great. This attack is +1 speed and stun 1. So effectively 2 speed. So 5 high 5 with stun 1 at the cost of a foundation, which then you can use Karasu to give more damage to. And then response card pool. After your rival destroys a foundation, remove this card. So you want fewer foundations, you want less progressive difficulty. If this hits, your rival destroys a foundation, you remove this card from your card pool. Great. Yeah, sure. That's how we're going to play this. That's scary. Moving on, we have Malefic Grenade. I don't remember this guy. I know he could, like, touch things and through his touch imbue things with spirit energy and blow them up. I just don't remember him using a lot of tech to do so. But it is a 5 difficulty, 4 mid for 5, 3 control with a +0 low block. That's pretty nice. It is also ranged in tech. It says Enhance, discard 1 momentum. This attack gets +3 speed. If it deals damage, your rival destroys a foundation. So your rival destroys a foundation, and then since your attack dealt damage, if they still have 6 or more foundations, they destroy another foundation. You know, there's a character in the old days called Jeddah 2. That got rid of your opponent's stage, kind of like this. Yeah, I see this being an issue. He got banned, by the way. Moving on to his Ultra, we have Trace Eyes. A 4 difficulty, 3 control, 4 low for 3 with a +2 mid block with Ally, Echo, there's that E word again, ranged and tech. I like that all of his attacks but 1 are tech. I'm glad we're getting more tech. And it has Enhance. You may destroy 1 ready foundation to pay for this card's Echo cost. So if you've got foundations to spare, which, I mean, as Karasu, who would, you can just blow up a foundation to pay for this card's Echo cost, and then this Echoed card will get more damage because more foundations have been destroyed that turn. All in all, his attacks seem pretty solid. His attack line, he knows what he wants to do, and he knows he's going to be doing a lot of it. Moving on to foundations, we have Demon Energy Manipulation, a 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 low block. It has a static that says if this foundation is destroyed, your next attack gets -1 difficulty. Happy day. So again, you want to stay low on foundations, but you want to be able to play a string out, especially as a 7-hander. You nuke this, you get -1 difficulty to your next attack, which is really, really good. And let's say that on 2 of these symbols, I'm going to be throwing a lot of this in Elder Toguro, because he destroys foundations on some of his cards, and that'll just benefit. And then he also says Enhance Commit. If you have 6 or fewer foundations in your stage, this attack gets +3 damage. Insane. Really, really strong, especially, like I said, if you're going to be throwing a throw at your opponent to then force both players to destroy a foundation, because Karasu doesn't say destroy a ready foundation. So you can commit this for 3 damage on a throw, it deals damage, blow this up with Karasu, your next attack gets -1 difficulty. Really solid for an uncommon slot. Next we have his common foundation, Frightening Calm. A 1 difficulty, 4 control with a +3 high block. It says Enhance, destroy 1 foundation. this attack gets stun 1. It's simple, it's self-explanatory, it's probably going to be scary. Then we have his other common foundation, Unsettling Aura. A 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +1 mid-block. Says Enhance Commit, this attack gets -2 speed, but if you have 6 or fewer foundations in your stage, this attack gets -3 speed instead. Which is likely always going to be the case. You're always probably going to have 6 or fewer foundations. But yeah, -3 speed is pretty good. And then his rare foundation, Warped Pleasure. A 2 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 high block. Unique. Okay, it's unique, so what makes this card unique? Enhance, once per turn, your turn. Players with 6 or more foundations destroy 1 foundation. Alright. And then enhance, if your rival has 10 or less health, your attack gets 1 speed and 1 damage. So if you've been punching your opponent enough, your attacks get stronger, your attacks get faster, and this card just freely allows you to force players to blow up foundations as long as they have 6 or more, which would then allow Karasu to increase the damage of your attacks further. Yeah. This dude's going to be frightening to play against. Not even going to sugarcoat it. I remember back in the Mortal Kombat days, there was a character, Raiden, who loved playing around with having only 6 foundations. He destroyed foundations to, say, force your opponent to play non-attack cards as their next forms, to give your attacks damage, and then he could, if you have 6 or less foundations, you could ready 3 of them. I used to think that character was scary, and hard to deal with sometimes, especially if you knew how to sequence your destructions. Karasu just, nah, he says we're both going to be playing on low foundations, and I can do it better. So, yeah, that's going to be terrifying. And the more we see of Team Toguro, they've just been scarier and scarier, so I can only imagine what younger Toguro is going to do. But we'll have to find out, I think, on the 30th. And lastly, we have the much-anticipated Kurama, Yoko Unleashed. Yoko Kurama. He's a 3 difficulty character. That usually means stacker. He's a 7 hand size, 20 health character with good life and water. So he retains 2 of his original symbols. He has a title, so you should know he does have a first form in the original Yu Yu Hakusho. He is part of Team Urameshi. He's got Response, Commit, remove 1 character card from your stage. After your rival plays an attack or action, discard it from their card pool and cancel its effects. Alright, he says, I don't want to deal with that attack, get rid of it. Solid. And then enhance your attack. Your rival adds the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. It's a good thing Tongue Whip's cycling, right? Yeah, because on 2 of these symbols, Tongue Whip would have to be banned. Just every one of your attacks, you get to stuff a card in your opponent's card pool. This man is already going to be a nightmare. I can already tell. I'm not going to enjoy this. First attack is his common. We have Ojigi Plant Grasp. It is a 5 difficulty, 3 control, 3 mid for 5 with a +3 mid block. It's got Ally and Throw. Enhance, if your rival has 1 or more cards in their card pool, this attack gets +2 damage. So it's a 3 mid 7 in him, no matter what. And it's a throw. I know. You people probably couldn't have heard that from the microphone, but my cat also doesn't like this card. She also feels my pain. Next up is his rare attack, Ojigi Plant Strike. A 4 difficulty, 3 control, 4 low for 4, +2 low block. Also with the ally keyword. I wonder if all of his attacks are going to have ally. It'd be cool to have some more ally support. It has Enhance. If this attack is not blocked, your rival loses 2 health. This does not say this cannot reduce your rival below 1 health. So if you can't block this card because he's stuffed your card pool a bunch, this is just going to auto do an extra 2 damage. This also means you have to block it, because even reducing its damage to 0, it's still going to make you lose 2 health. Great. I was going to say stock up on your damage reduction, so you wouldn't have to deal with not blocking these, but hey, you have to block this one or else. And then enhance, discard 1 momentum, search your deck and discard pile for 1 copy of your starting character and build it. Cool. So you can build your characters kind of like the old school gauge keyword. You can build them from your discard pile or your deck with this effect instead of just having to play them outright. Pretty cool. I dig that. Ooh, we have the water keyword, so that means we can also play these in Ectoplasm, which is a character I've been trying to get off the ground for a long time. Next up, we have his Ultra Rose Whip Barrage, a 4 difficulty, 3 control, 5 high for 3 with a +2 mid block, ally, and echo. Alright, I'm really starting to worry about these echo cards. Every character has an echo card. As much as I love echo, I especially don't like them when your character can constantly stuff cards in my card pool. That's rude. It has Enhance. If your rival has 2 or more cards in their card pool, this attack gets 3 damage. Sure, why not? This should have at least been a 5 diff then. And then Enhance. If this attack deals 3 or more damage, search your deck, discard pile, and remove from game pile for 1 copy of your starting character and build it. Now that's insane, especially on an echo, because it... Ooh. I don't know what I just did there. Sorry. Resetting. Because in order to use his response to kick an attack after it's played, you have to remove the character. Or like Ectoplasm, in order to consider an attack fully blocked, you have to remove the character. So you can only do that a certain number of times, because you only have a certain number of characters. But being able to search your removed from game pile and build a character, that's really, really good. And that's going to make I don't know if that's going to make Ectoplasm really good. I'm definitely going to be taking a second look at him now. But it's going to make Kurama all the more annoying. This is going to be a very hard-to-kill 7-hander. And then last up we have his uncommon attack, Twin Rose Toss. This is a 5 difficulty, 4 high for 5, 3 control with a +1 high block. Ally combo attack. And it says combo enhance. Your rival adds the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. Sure. Sure. Yep, okay. Lots of card pool stuffing. I am already hating Yoko Kurama. Moving on to his foundations. His common foundation, Demon Plants. A 2 difficulty, 4 control with a +2 low block. Ally keyword. Nice. Enhance, commit, choose 1 ally attack in your card pool. That card does not count towards progressive difficulty for the rest of the turn. Alright, so even if you had boosted his Ultra to a 5 diff, it still wouldn't have mattered. Sure, fine. That's fair. That's fine. Then we have his uncommon foundation, Demonic Teamwork, a 0 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 high block. I think this is when him and Hiei were training Kuwabara, if I'm remembering that correctly. Also has the ally keyword. Enhance, flip, your ally attack gets +1 speed or +1 damage. Normally I'd say on a flip, if it's just 1 speed and 1 damage and it's keyword gated, I'd normally say give it the and. But Kurama has me salty, so I don't care that he gets the or, not the and. Moving on to his rare foundation, Legendary Bandit. A 3 difficulty, 5 control with a +2 mid block, and the unique keyword. It says response, your turn, commit. After your rival adds a face down card to their card pool, your rival adds the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. Enhance Destroy. If this attack deals damage, draw 2 cards. Okay. Normally, I don't. Why wasn't this a flip? Or a commit flip? To consistently use this on your turn to stuff your opponent 2 cards every turn for the price of free, basically? I have issues with this card. And sure, it's unique, but, man, I don't like this card. mainly because I know I'm going to see a lot of it and I'm going to hate life. So if you're going to think Kurama's going to be running around a lot, make sure you have whatever the 1/5/2 low block from Crimson Rampage is that flips to pitch 2 cards from your card pool. Make sure you have lots of those and only play on those symbols. Lastly, we have Yoko form, a 1 difficulty, 5 control with a +3 mid block. Enhance Destroy. If there is an ally card in your card pool, ready 1 foundation that has not been ready this combat phase. Again, why was this not a flip cost? Because you can play your ally, use his enhance, commit this so they stuff 2 cards in their card pool, blow up Yoko form, ready this, on your next attack, use your character to stuff a card pool, and then so you put 4 cards in their card pool at the cost of essentially 1 commit and 1 destroy. Yeah. There's not much more to say about Yoko Kurama aside from Chris Smith. I hope you're happy. Your boy's really, really good and really, really aggravating. I know you said he's perfect, no notes, but I have several notes. I have several notes about this character and his kit. None of them are good. I mean, aside from this character and his kit are incredibly strong, and I see him being a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, make sure you get a lot of defensive card pool clearing cards, or else your life's going to be miserable. But yeah, so that is all for part 2 of my preview reviews for the Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament set. As soon as they have the next 4 characters up on Ultra, I will give you guys another one. And again, I know I forgot to say it at the beginning, but please check out the original people's... Sorry, I lost my words for a second there. The original previewers' videos. Go like their videos, comment on them, give them the views too. I meant to say that at the beginning of this, but I'm still kind of new to the preview thing, and I just get so excited to talk about cards I kind of forget. But yeah, go give them the views, give them a like, subscribe to those content creators if you haven't already. I will add all of the links down in the description below. Until next time, take care, guys.